Hey everybody, welcome to the West Dakota Dad. My name is Cody. This is my podcast where we talk about faith, family, and life. This is episode number 27 with faith over fear. So my daughter absolutely loves animals. I mean, ever since she heard the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm, you can ask her what sound any animal makes, and she would probably demonstrate for you. And some, she might even tell you how they eat. But there's not a day that goes by that when we leave our little subdivision, she looks off to the north of us at the field to see if the horses are out, and she gets real excited when she sees them. We've also found out that if we go to a zoo, we better plan for at least half a day. An hour or two is not going to cut it. And so she just loves animals. And a few weekends ago, we went to this barn where there was cows and goats and this llama, and she was excited, but she was kind of nervous to be around the goats at first because she's not really used to being around them. And, they're about the same height as her, and there's a lot of them, so it's a little bit much to take in. But when we got to go inside the barn, it was filled with baby goats no more than a couple days old. And they were all maaing and hawing because they were hungry. It was feeding time. And she instantly just got excited, and she crouched down and cupped her hands around the little baby goat's head. And she said, "You're so cute." So she liked it. But the little goat thought that she was feeding it, so it started sucking on her fingers. And she got scared and pulled them away and came to me. Then Grandma came and saved the day, saying, "No, it's okay. Don't be afraid. See, look, they're just, they're hungry. They think your finger is a bottle." And so then my daughter thought that was funny and so started sticking her fingers in their mouths and stuff. So it was kind of entertaining. But I have found out that kids tend to be scared of things that they probably don't necessarily need to be scared of, based on they're just not understanding it. It might be a little intimidating. And then things that they probably should be terrified of, no fear in the world. Absolutely none. For instance, something they might not be scared of is like, they grab scissors and go run with them. Yeah, they don't understand that isn't something that you should be okay with because, it might hurt if you trip and fall and stab through your hand or something like that. So I feel like as a parent, it's kind of our job to teach them, what they should be cautious of, and then also the things that they maybe not necessarily need to be afraid of. Like there are no monsters under your bed or, stuff like that. And I get it, it's like telling water not to be wet in certain circumstances because they just don't understand that their imaginations are going wild. But as they get older, they'll start to understand things and, maybe they won't see things that they were afraid of before. And, they'll just kind of adjust, to say none the least. And even though now I'm an adult, there is still times that I get scared. Life brings some storms on, and you get scared of certain circumstances, which actually is a perfect segue into what we're going to read today. We're going to actually come from the Gospel of Matthew, starting in chapter 14 here. We're going to start at verse 25. This is when Jesus walks on water. When Jesus walks on water. So this is going to kind of all tie in together here. Starting with verse 25 here. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on water. When his disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!" But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage. I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water." "Yes, come," said Jesus. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw a strong wind and the waves, he was terrified and began to sink. "Save me, Lord," he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. "You have so little faith," Jesus said. "Why did you doubt me?" When they came back to the boat, the wind stopped. Then the disciple worshipped him. "You really are the Son of God," they exclaimed. So these disciples, grown men, got scared. And let's kind of break it down here. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be scared in their situation too. It's 3:00 in the morning, or at least early in the morning. I don't know what all translations say, but at least early in the morning. So they're probably battling fatigue, maybe some drowsiness. They're on a boat in the middle of the water. The winds and waves are high, and they probably don't have life jackets. Let's just be honest. Even for fishermen, that would probably be a little bit intimidating. It's dark. They probably can't see very well. And then all of a sudden, this ghostly figure is walking on the water towards them. That's something you don't see every day. And so they just got a lot of things that's just not playing to their best likings, I guess, or what's ordinary. So they're terrified. I would be too. And then what does Jesus say? Don't be afraid. How many times have we told that to our children, or have had it said to us when we were children? So many times. It's like a classic parent line when you're trying to calm down a child. Don't be afraid. Okay? Then Peter steps up to the plate. Jesus calls out, "Take courage, for I am here." Or it's me, sorry. "Take courage, it's me." Peter steps to the plate. He said, "If it's really you, let me walk to you." Perfect. Got this storm going. Now Peter's focused on Jesus. He's walking on the water. And what happens? The storm gets really bad and distracts him, and he starts to sink. Well, then he cries out for Jesus as he's sinking, and Jesus pulls him back up, rebukes him, basically saying, "Have faith in me, man. I've done all these miracles. You didn't think I'd protect you?" I mean, that's kind of just put it in my own words if that's how the situation was to go. But, so Jesus, you look at it, and it's kind of like we look at it in today's world. We weather storms, okay? When we focus on Jesus, we'll be able to weather those storms a lot better. Not saying that maybe our fear is completely taken away, but when you are able to surrender about things that are out of your control and put them in God's hands, I feel like you're unstoppable then. I feel like your faith in Jesus will triumph over your fears. And that's awesome. I'm not saying that maybe fear is necessarily a bad thing, but let's look at why are you fearful? Why are you afraid? Is it because it's out of your control and that scares you? Yeah, I get that. That is a scary thing. That if you don't think that, things are going to play out into your favor, you don't think God's in control, that's probably not a good thing to have. That means you need to work on your faith a little bit, I would assume. But if your fear is something like, I'm scared of snakes and spiders. Once I see one, I at least have enough fear, and I do have a little bit of knowledge when to kind of, break just a shoe over it, opposed to like a broom, And I know a little bit about spiders on the force I need to kill them with. But I have a fear for them enough where I can keep my distance from them. It's more of a caution, I guess you could say, more so than a fear, even though it does startle me. So I feel like we can go through 1,000 different scenarios on if your fear means you need more faith or if it's more or less just a precautionary type reaction. But in general, I'm just kind of laying it out there. I'm trying to get you guys some scripture and everything. When we focus on God, we can weather the storm. Even when we're sinking, if you get distracted and you're sinking in this storm, still turn to Him. He might just pull you out in one way or another. So that's kind of what I had for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, thanks for listening so much. I really appreciate it. Till next time, I'm the West Dakota Dad. Thanks for listening to the West Dakota Dad podcast. If you like what you heard, please drop a rating, share with your friends, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any content.